Record of the Paladins, The Book of Oliver by B.P. McCoppin.
Dude, I love that freaking book. My dad did too. I got him the audiobook, and it was fantastic.
I like I particularly like the spine work on this one, just because it's just like ROTP, Oliver, McCoppin. Let's go. Let's go.
McCoppin has got another book coming out sometime in the near future, and I was lucky enough to get the beta read it, and especially, I mean, absolutely.
Yeah, I'm in beta reading process.
Dude, it's good. It's good, man. It's fast.
It's also available on audio, and it's very good in both forms. I've read it.
Yes.
I haven't listened to it. It's worth your time. It's a very interesting blend of ideas. It really connected to me on an emotional plane as well as
both books made me cry, and then I got mad at McCoppin for making me cry about words on a page.
It's because this has actually got the thermal in it, so that way when you put your iced tea in this and you drink it, it doesn't get hot. It keeps you refreshed for the coming crusades. And I've got something else in here. What is it? It's a hardback book. Oh my God! Record of the Paladins by Brian McCoppin.
He has a habit of adding people from the real world into his books.
Oh,
It's really cool. Yeah. No, Brian McCoppin is writing some really, really awesome stuff. You guys got to go check him out at thepaladinbooks.com.
Over from Books to Comics is the adaptation of the Amazon best-selling novel by Brian McCoppin, Record of the Paladins. Satan and his legions wage a guerrilla war for the souls of men. They do all they can to corrupt the hearts of mortals and infest this plane of existence. In war, there is only one answer: violence. Our heroic paladins are ready to answer the call.
These demons are real. They walk this world. Quite the hook there, McCoppin. I like that.
Yes,
I adore that first book. It's one of the only Iron Age books my dad's actually been able to read because his eyes are so bad. He was able to listen to it on Audible, and it's really good.
This is Record of the Paladin.
Demon Beavers.
Demon Beavers. At least he made a villain that's memorable, right?
I like Obi-Wan looking at it.
And what's so interesting about this book is it is Christian action adventure fiction. That is a needle that is not often thread in obvious circles. And what I mean by that is, yes, I'm wearing the shirt, by the way, as extra merchandise. This is the same logo that he uses for the book.
Good. It's different than the first book in terms of kind of the overall vibe, but there's a lot of really interesting new developments in the world and characters, and those books I really enjoy them. I think what he's got going over there is unique as far as what I've read or seen in a lot of ways, and well done. I like the way he writes. It's got like a quick pace to it. There's a lot happens, and there's not a lot of wasted time between things happening. It's like they're here and they need to get halfway across the world. So it's like they were halfway across the world. It's like you don't need.
He gets to the point.
Yes, it keeps.
Okay,
moving.
that's my type. Yeah.
But it deals with some pretty dark stuff too. That's one thing about his books that I didn't expect when I first started going into them, is that the whole tagline is demons are real, and these books don't shy away from that. Now he doesn't go into like deep detail whenever things get nasty, but there's enough there that you can. It's sort of like the old TV shows where like somebody's making out, like a barrage strap starts to go and then it fades to black. That's how the descriptions are, where you're like, what's going on.
You're like, wait, did they just race swap in the middle of a scene?
Whether it's violence or so it's not like in your face graphic violence or whatever else, but there is enough there to make you be like, ooh, geez, this is kind of heavy.
Book should be coming out very soon, and I am intrigued by the concept of it just as much as this one, which to me is a sign of a really good author, that your second book can be just as interesting as your first book, if not more so. If you want to see what I mean by not preachy Christian action, check out Record of the Paladins by V.P. McCoppin. It is fun. It's exciting. It has great drama, action that we've all been looking for in entertainment that's been sorely lacking for the last 2 decades. And it's a concept that doesn't try to be anything more than it is, the battle of good and evil.
That's not your cue either. Now scram before I call Roland the Mighty.
Yes! Look at this awesome crew we got here.
Yes!
And he's actually wearing a shirt.
He's got a shirt on.
Got all dressed up.
They're
Freaking
excited.
wild. Oh, sorry. I'm trying to imagine what I would yell out as Roland if I didn't have a good memory like he does and could, spout off Bible verses like it's going out.
Just
of
have
style.
4. Just have 4. Like your angry one, your happy one, your sad one. And have an extra one,
And then that one brief moment in the first book where it's like slightly insecure Roland. Works out harder.
Oh, I'm shirtless. I forgot. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Doesn't
He's
he
like,
even have a quote? He has a quote about being naked too, like going before God naked or something like that. I can't remember the quote exactly, but yeah.
I did have a review I wrote for your first book, Brian, where I was making fun of it. Like, yeah, I keep a like I want to quote. I will quote and say that this book has a lot of plagiarism. I've read the Bible. There's a lot of quotes, a lot of stuff he just blatantly stole out of that.
Lawsuits left and right. Watch out.
I know.
Jesus
is coming back even sooner, and it's just to sue Brian.
All right. Well, thank you all for coming as book 2, Yvonne Ivoire, has officially launched. A couple of things we got going on just to kind of set the tone for today. You'll see at the bottom, I've got a tracker. I'm tracking day 1 sales. And so book of Yvonne Ivoire available now, 33 so far.
Nice.
I want to pump that up. My goal is to beat my best day ever, which is 72. I think I can do that. I think I can beat that day. So we'll see. With that being said, book 1's for free right now. So go get book 1 if you have. Even if you read the book, just go download the free book. It still helps my sales numbers, actually. So go
sweet.
Just download it.
Where's that free at? What's the best place?
Hey guys, the book he's talking about
where's
is Hell Desk to Help Desk. That's the one.
Yeah, I've thought about that one.
I'll talk about that some tonight too, because that's my bestseller. I don't advertise it.
I believe it.
I don't. But here's a link to Book of Oliver, which is free download right now. So even if you don't want to read it, even if you already read it, if you don't have a digital copy, just download it. All you need is an Amazon account or a Kindle account.
So it's through Amazon. Got it.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure all of y'all have Amazon accounts. So
me, only a lot. Yeah.
Every day.
Every day.
All right. So then I got one ask of you 4 before I let you guys introduce yourselves and talk about who you are. This is streaming on YouTube, on X, and on Facebook. And my Facebook account is a little more family friendly, like my books are PG-13. So I'll limit you all to 1 of the 7 words you can't say in TV. I don't care which one you use. You can pick one.
Son of a fruit basket.
Kahuna's got to go then.
Hey, I can control myself. I don't swear in front of women and children I don't know. Anyway, we all have rules.
Yes, a code.
Right. So with that, I'll just kind of go and order the screen here. So, Mr. Pritchard.
Yes, sir.
Who are you for those who may not know who you are? What brings you to this stream?
Well, I'm an author, a musician, and a longtime indie. I've been basically an indie since I was 19 years old, so well over a decade now at this point. So essentially, I read this book. I've come to know you pretty closely in the past. Well, I wouldn't say closely, but like pretty well in the last year. You're one of my online companions as far as the indie sphere goes, and I was impressed by the writing, and when you mentioned the book release stream, I was all about it, and I'm happy to talk shop with the boys, so to speak.
Yes. All right, Mr. Justin of Everly Music. Who are you?
So I am Justin, and as the name implies, Everly is my band name, I guess, if you want to call it that. I've been making music since, I don't know,
Band
ninth
name,
grade.
girl's name, you know.
It's a pretty name, and nothing was taken with it. There's a lot of Everlys, but there was no Everlys taken, so it allowed for me to get all the names I wanted. I've been making music for a long time. I specialize in metal and that sort of thing, but I've done rock, I've done pop. I played in the church band for years, and I just continue to make music. I was fortunate and lucky enough to make some music for Mr. McCoppin and for the record of the Paladins, and I am looking forward to the opportunity once again. It'll probably be my biggest musical undertaking I think I've ever done, based on the reference track I'm looking at. I'm like, there's so many layers here. I don't know if I can hit these notes, but all that to say, I make music, and that's my main shtick. So that's me. Hi, everybody.
Awesome. Yes. Mr. Kahuna. Who are you?
It is I.
Who is your daddy? What does he do?
Christ. I read a lot of books, man. I try to do this whole YouTuber thing with the obnoxious personality that I fake, quote, for the internet. And yeah, man, I like to explore stories, talk to people, understand different aspects of this life that we're all going through. I like books. I like talking about family adventures and learning about things. And someday I'd like to write books of my own, but that's not yet. Too many things on the plate so far. That, and I never sang in the church band like Justin here, but I did once put a hole in the wall of my church on accident.
Yeah.
So, so kind of there also. Yeah.
Well, speaking of getting books written, we've got a guy who can help you. Mr. Daniel P. Riley, who are you and why are you important?
Oh my goodness. Okay, let's see. Iron Age Nights co-host, freelancer, content creator, Whimsyland writing coach. That is my business. And comic book creator, novelist, educator, and finally editor. I happen to be the editor for this new book that we're going to be talking about.
So you might know it better than I do.
Fully analyzed.
Fully discovered all my terrible flaws. When AC says I'm a good writer, now just DP is a good editor.
That's how it goes, man. Brian, do you have a link for the new book also?
Yeah, let me pull that up. So
yeah, let's plop that in there.
So book 2 released at midnight. It's only available right now in digital and paperback. So Amazon, for whatever reason, wanted to push the hardback out a couple days. So July 4th is the hardback availability.
They always take a couple extra days for the hardback because of the formatting. It's a little bit
because it's
different.
hard.
Yeah.
Because down boy.
Heavy.
I wanted to, so about the release. So just a couple of quick things. So many of you know that last year, Oliver came out. And I wanted to get this out within a year. I missed my goal by a few months. So it wasn't bad, but it wasn't a year. So, but I knew, and it worked out strategically, that if I could release it the weekend before a holiday, that's the best weekend to release a book. Because people download books to read over the holiday.
True.
So if any wannabe writers out there, that's your target. Find a holiday and get your book out there. And push your editor, yell at them, say, "Where are you done yet?" Come on.
Make it a real holiday too, not like, oh, it's National Milkshake Day again.
Right, yeah. A day when people have off work.
Yeah.
Unless
Lay on the
the
beach, read a book.
Milkshakes, then that's appropriate.
Right.
Every day is Milkshake Day.
It should be. And July 4th is actually the 1-year anniversary of my own book. So
that's right.
Nice.
You didn't mention your book in your intro, Mr. Pritchard. What you got?
Oh, I have a book on Amazon. It's called Mortal Descent. You can
Not a
find
big deal.
Yeah.
It's not a big
Amazon.com/author/AC Pritchard. So,
It's not about you, AC. It's
I know.
about
I'm
kidding.
I know.
Saga. Go check it out.
Yeah.
Too much crap on my desk.
Ooh, that's
Ooh.
pretty. That's the original
Oh.
cover. That's the first cover.
Yeah, the OG cover.
Yeah.
And it doesn't have that weird stamp on Justin's. I've been trying to find where I can get an aftermarket one of those. But no.
Good luck. Like,
I like that old cover better. I just personally do. I like the simplicity of it, I think.
yeah.
It is. I don't know. It's kind of. I like the new one, but like it is kind of cool having the one that's no longer available.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that is the world there. But anyway, Paladins.
No. Let's talk about it. All right, so let's turn our attention towards the lovely bottom feeders, as we say here in Florida, the lobsters and the manta rays that we call chat.
Oh.
We'll see who's visiting chat today. So,
Yeah.
Mr. Bat Sauce, the short bus veteran himself. Excellent. Welcome, Mr. Bat Sauce. These are all you guys.
Welcome to the chat,
y'all.
buddy.
I saw King Bob, as he just called another stream, hanging out in there. I see
Bob.
Maji-chan popping in there. Let me know if I missed anybody.
Yo,
I'm
Maji
a-
made it in here. Woo!
I think, Maji, were you here when we revisited Demon Beavers for a second?
She's asking about the.
Right away. Yeah. She's like,
That was not like a planned thing. That's like a throwaway demon in a mid-level chapter that gets killed within 7 sentences, and it became this meme of Maji-chan loves Demon Beavers. So
you gotta lean into it.
And
even my
she-
kids
yeah.
know about it now. You should get dolls like the red-eyed beavers that have like drool and stuff, and make a stuffed animal.
And then
Not a bad
Maji,
idea.
Maji didn't know the innuendo either, which was also something. But moving on from that.
Yeah.
Oh, that was a funny screen, bro. And also, Brian, you got the shield in the background, brother. That looks sick. Is that
Yeah,
a green
this
screen
is-
or just like a printed thing?
It's like it's cloth. It's hung on like a. I'm inside today because it's rainy outside. I'm usually outside when I stream, but it's rainy, so I came inside, put this up here. It doesn't quite fit in the back porch proper. It looks
All you
nice.
Florida people streaming outside. What's going on down there?
Right. Something
Well,
in
and
the
you got-
water. It must be
Man.
fresh.
When it's not raining, it's nice. There's only 2 options in Florida: rain or nice. Even the rain can be kind of nice. So.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, tropical rain is either a squall or just a cooling sensation that happens.
I like it because it'll blow through like at 3 o'clock and just cool off the world, and it goes away by 4, and it's just nice out for the rest of the evening. So, take it.
Yeah, same here in Washington. Yep, just a quick little thing at 3
It's
o'clock.
not raining in
You
Washington.
never see it again.
Oh,
It's getting like softball hail and all kinds of craziness.
Yes,
Actually, no, Washington. We don't get that. We just have like we've had up to 98 consecutive days of rain though, which
Wow.
is not that much fun.
Minnesota is like just Mother Nature's experiment. You know, you never know what you're gonna get. You go outside.
You mean like with people or?
everything? It really with everything, but I was referring to weather.
Oh,
It's like it could be freezing, worse than like Russia and like Antarctica. No, not even kidding. Or hotter than like California. Also not kidding. Like on comparable to deserts in some places. Like the only difference is it's not a desert, but you get those days. It's crazy. It's crazy.
and then Florida is what is the consolation prize for people who want to live in the tropics that can't afford Hawaii.
Yes, no, you're not wrong.
Yeah.
My family's gone to Hawaii. Like, we should move here. I'm like, we can't afford to live here.
You'd have to live like you'd have to go to Samoa and live the way they do. You know, 20 people in a house with no walls. Not a lot of fun.
Yeah. A longhouse.
Also, almost all the Samoan people I know who grew up there cannot swim. It's baffling.
That is
It's
baffling.
because it depends on where they are because they have a lot of really shallow coral, so they go to like waist deep, but they don't actually swim that much.
Gotcha.
Huh.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, well,
Interesting.
you guys talked about this a little bit. So those who haven't read the books yet, I'm sure there's a couple out there that are curious. I've slowly became the logo for my books. It's Roland's shield, and along the edges here in Greek script is Ephesians 6. So if those of you who don't know, you see Justin's got one in the background. Daniel's got one. So we've been making products around the cups, around the shield, and it's getting pretty in depth. We've got little espresso coffee mugs.
Nice. I like the silver rim on that. It's a nice.
The rim
metal.
does kind of add something to it.
Oh,
yeah.
sick. Keep your drink hot.
We got stickers, which you can put on anything. So my water bottle gets stickered.
Oh, bro, I'm gonna be stickering everything.
Trying out different hats.
Heck yeah.
To be like the new kid, like this trucker style, but I'm more like the old fashioned, just be the bold hat guy. But just
I might buy one for my dad. I can't wear baseball caps. My head's too big.
I'll get you a pirate hat.
Oh, there we go. Actually, hold on.
Yes, I knew you had it.
I opened
Slap
up
a sticker on the side of it.
I opened up
Roland.
my
There.
opened up my Bible app just to see Ephesians 6 because I don't remember it offhand, and it was already there. It was already on Ephesians 6. It's kind of weird.
Oh, that's
Listening to you.
Sick, brother.
Yeah, this should just have the part about the shield. That's all it's on this. But, yeah.
The shield. I'm trying to. Is it St. George's Cross?
I mean, it could be. It's just a design I made when I was visualizing Roland. You know, I wanted like the Crusader cross in a way,
Right.
but I didn't. It doesn't have the straight edges like a pure Crusader cross. I put some like flares on it to kind of make it a little bit different, make it textured. So I didn't want to have any copyright issues.
Right.
So I made a logo in Photoshop. So here's what I want.
Wait. If you took a cross symbol from a active like denomination, would they go after you for some reason?
So maybe not today, but let's say hypothetically they make a movie someday. They're like, oh yeah, now he's got money. Now I'm a target. So avoid. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but just don't be a target.
Well, heck,
Right.
what was that religious group that went after Eric July or some such nonsense over a name? Yeah, it was.
Yeah. So.
Well, I was gonna say the St. George's Cross would not be a bad. I mean, okay, because
I think it was the School of Ministry because their acronym was ISOM.
Yeah.
Oh,
that's right. Yeah,
That makes sense.
But yeah. Anyway, the cross, I believe it is a modern. Like a lot of people have adopted it as a modern thing because of like it's they call it St. George's Cross. The only reason I know is it's relevant in like the news recently. I think Britain was trying to I don't know, ban it as like a hate symbol or something, which is ridiculous. Yeah. It's a symbol of a martyr. The dude
That's coming in book 3 or 4. We gotta wait to
Not wrong.
The
Not
dude
wrong.
Funny.
apparently the lore behind it, and I love real world lore. The dude refused.
I think we
to
call
give
that
up.
history, by the way.
I like the lore. No, it's he refused to give up his Christianity. I believe under the Romans, I want to say, or somebody, but he refused to say he wasn't a Christian all the way until the end. So
Yeah.
he's a martyr, and I like that, and I think it's fitting. A lot of modern ideas, even people who aren't like full well into Christianity in the modern day, can still get behind an idea like that. It's like sticking to your beliefs, sticking to your code or whatever.
Well, belief, a
Word you're
lifestyle,
looking
a
for
code
is
that where you
conviction.
fold right away isn't
your conviction.
real.
Yeah, your value. Yeah, all that. Yeah. I liked it. It reminded me of that. I figured I'd share.
Good. No.
Cool.
No, it's good stuff, man. Good
I
stuff.
love hearing the things that it touches on, especially you guys are the same. All of you are creators, so when your creations get out in the world and people say, "Oh, man, this made me think of this," I mean, you love it. You love it.
Yeah.
No, I love it, man. I love it.
Some of the old.
yeah.
Sorry, really quick. Some of the old art is really cool too. They literally look like they're out of Record of the Paladins, except it's like a knight. Like I gotta just show you quick.
Yeah, sure, show it.
I'll just share. I don't have to say anything
Do
else. Kahuna, you can go with what you were saying.
Oh, I don't remember, but it's fine.
Shoot.
I'll remember it for all time. It's fine. Go ahead.
Okay.
It's fine. I promise. No. Also, Bat Sauce says, in news today, Record of the Paladins banned in England. You know what?
I would love it. Are you kidding me? That would
Right.
be amazing. I would sell 1 million copies tonight.
It wouldn't
I can
surprise
think of
me.
no greater endorsement,
Right.
frankly. We broke off
Yeah.
from them for a reason, frankly. I'll be frank. Their
Anti-demon,
tea, not very good, not worth the tax.
anti-demon book banned by demons.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. That's just they would hand you a pile of money if they did that. Essentially.
Yeah.
It's gonna be
it would.
like a pile of English viewers who come in here. What is this? I am
Oi,
out.
what is this then, bro?
Slams the desk.
Bro.
I see the videos of the book they paid for. They're burning. Hey, that's $3. Thanks, man. Thanks. Burn away.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yep. It ain't Tuesday, in it.
All right, bruv. We're gonna play local games. Pulls out a knife.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh, bro.
Well, if Oliver was there, he could play quite a few games with that knife. Hitting bullseye after bullseye. He's like modern Robin Hood,
Well,
but like on steroids.
yeah. In a lot of stories, when characters believe in a system of a disarmament and not a non-lethal approach, I don't buy it. But because of the training that he went through, I'm like,
Yeah.
all right, fine. He can do it. Go ahead. That's a good system.
Right.
Yeah, for book 1, don't be afraid about spoilers. It's been out a year, so have fun.
Okay. Yeah, like at the end when he shoots directly into a mechanism of the gun and just stops it. And I believe it's a flashback scene, so that's like one of the first big things that he goes through, and that was his reaction, and it worked out like that. So it just shows you like, I use guns, but it's like very much in a to put it in terms for like some like old school 90s nerds, maybe like Ninja Turtles kind of way. It's a Ninja Turtles kind of way where, yeah, he has swords, but do you ever see him cut anybody in half?
No, they're for defense. Then you kick people.
Yeah.
Right.
These are self-defense only swords, frankly.
Yes.
So that
Unless you're a
scene-
demon.
Well,
Unless you're a
the-
demon.
The limits
Desert
are
Demons,
making of this combat scene.
Yeah.
We don't call that unaliving. We call that purging. AC. Learn
That's
the
just
lingo.
cleaning. That's just tidying
Cleaning
up.
house.
Tidying
That's
up.
all it is.
Yeah. That's all that is.
So I can share about that Desert Demon scene. We talked about
Ooh,
that.
yeah,
And
yeah.
I actually used my dad. He helped me like lay that out. Like I'll have him stand up. I'm like, all right, if I'm Oliver, I'm holding you like this, and I do this. Does this movement make sense? If I grab your hand like this and put it behind you and put the gun in right here, can you move? Like, can you escape this? I had my dad, who's a big guy like me, trying to resist and walk through the scene. So it's nice to have somebody who at least he's a retired Marine, so he understands combat and weapons, everything. So he's able to help me in a lot of this stuff. So I did not dedicate book 1 to him. I dedicated to one of my karate masters who died.
Uh-oh.
Oh.
Oh, no.
Speaking of dying,
Well,
Oh, we're back.
Oh, he's
there
back.
we go.
He's back.
There we go.
Everybody froze. Was it me? Probably me.
You're a martial arts instructor. He died.
Yeah, there he is. Yeah, so
Yeah, there it is.
he died while I was writing book 1, so I want to dedicate it to him. So book 2 is actually dedicated to my parents. Those of you who don't know, Oliver's parents in book 1 are named Neil and Nancy Smith. That's his birth name is Oliver Smith. He was adopted by Garen Donnelly, becomes Oliver Donnelly. My parents are named Neil and Nancy. So when they read this, like, you killed us in 1981 in a car accident.
This isn't. They
That's
aren't
funny.
you. It's just they happen to have the same names.
Have
And
your
look exactly
name.
like you. Live in the same place. Have other children. Have the same children. Anyway, no.
Yeah.
There's no other similarities besides everything.
Right.
Yeah.
These 12 are it, I swear.
It's like a disclaimer at the beginning of any movie. It's like any similarities to people and events, past or present, are just a figment of your imagination. It's not real.
wholly intentional.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you can see this clearly a paladin, which actually feeds into the lore of your world, I believe, right? Isn't it an ancient order? It goes all the way back. It's deeply
Yeah,
ingrained
so-
in the Vatican.
The book
And
touches
stuff.
on that, and I based a lot of the story on the actual mythology of the Paladins. As the 12 peers, they were known. They're kind of the French version of the Knights of the Round Table. So the
Mhm.
names of the Paladins are the actual names of those 12 peers. It's been interesting to, I don't want all dudes, so to genderize the names a little bit to make sure I had
because their
girl
names just
characters.
have to contain the name. It doesn't have to be an exact one.
Right, yeah. So it's I'm having a lot of fun in book 3. I give a little hint. She's Chinese, so I can have a lot of fun. I can have a long name. I can hide sounds in the middle of it. I'm gonna have an interesting time with this. So
That's fun.
No, I also love how derpy everyone in this picture looks. The wolf looks
Yeah.
surprised to even be there. The horse is
I
like,
didn't see the wolf.
the
There's
guy's
a wolf
like,
down there.
do you love me yet? She's like, no.
is she walking that dog that he's stabbing through the mouth? He got a leash.
Oh,
Oh
He's
dear.
taking- oh no.
Oh yeah, you're right. Holy crap. It's just like, why'd you kill my dog?
That's also on point with paladins. The animal possession. I like the choice of baddies. It's a clever choice. Aside from zombies, which some people could like, I mean, which you also have zombies, but those could also be interpreted as a little bit too human-like. I think that's a lot of the big criticism when people say, "Oh, that's not people. It's they're zombies."
Mhm.
Well, they still look like it or whatever. Now, one of my favorite examples is Doom. It's literally just demons. I mean, that could be scary too, but yeah, if you notice, I could be wrong here. It could be different now, but the maker of Doom, Doom, not Dune, but the maker of Doom,
Demons, not worms.
demons, yeah. And no, you notice there's no people deleting, so
That the Doomslayer kills. There's plenty of dead bodies, but he doesn't kill any people. Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Right.
I was like, that's a ton of bodies. Yeah, and that's
I like the super awkward position of him on in attack. He's like left hand with the needle spear. How do you actually somebody with something that thin, and then his right arm is like, and he's
That's the trick shot of a confident fella right there.
Also, if you just take out the people in this shot, it looks like a very weirdly intimate scene between the dog and the horse.
Oh no, we
Look
need
at
to
their faces,
normalize.
man.
We need to normalize the needle spear. Bring back the needle spear.
I love how an artist like hundreds and hundreds of years ago would like dedicated their life and they like were made this wonderful piece of art and we're just like 2024. Look at this art, bro.
Look at the needle spear. The wolf.
What's wrong
Hey,
with
come
the
on!
person?
It looks like the artist is like, I made this crap. I forgot to draw the spear and just
maybe St. George is upset because he finally saw her face for the first time. He's like,
He's like,
wow. What can I do to get rid of her?
This wolf.
Oh yeah, get her dog. That's it.
Her dog. Her dog. Yeah. That would upset my wife for sure. Not gonna.
Oh wait, I gotta interrupt. So watch the tracker. You guys see the tracker at the bottom? It's changing. We're 33. We are now.
Where'd he go?
At 0.
There it is.
34. Woo! Ding, ding.
Ding, ding,
Nice.
Dang.
Yeah.
That says they had AI art back then.
Are there? Why is imagine you stitch this together? It's like, why is there an extra finger? Crap! All right, undo the whole damn.
Yeah, what is sewing for hours?
What are their excuses for like 12 fingers or whatever? Aside from like the Nephilim.
Inbreeding.
Yeah. I thought that was you see the jaw of like some of the. Anyway, that's a whole nother topic. The self-portraits of the royals is a whole nother topic.
We're here to talk about Brian's book.
Yes.
Anyway, inbreeding.
yes.
So you talk about
as I was saying,
zombies and having a variety of enemies. That was one of my goals. I didn't want to bore them. Like I want to walk through and my goal is 12 books in this, and I don't want to have they had this battle already, or this fight kind of already happened, or this plays out the same as that last fight. Like I'm trying to not only just up the ante at times. I need to have some easy battle because of what Roland is. There's going to be just he walks through and he wins. Which is to me, it's a gratifying experience. Sometimes I miss those kind of stories where you have like the straight line protagonist who is going to win at the end of the fight. It's just how can we get there creatively? Like what's in like Superman. It's a glass world he lives in. I don't need to see him weak. I don't need to see him struggling. I just need to see him
allow his strength to occasionally become his weakness. Like same with Roland. Like he couldn't really go into the upper story because frankly he's too big. He's big.
And the heart in conflict with itself, right? Superman, you can show him being weak in areas that he actually is weak. Like he's an alien pretending to be human. You can dive so far into that and then just have him knock out the bad guy at the end like some of the old Superman sitcoms did. Or were they sitcoms? I don't know. But you know what I'm talking about. The serial stories or whatever. They always delved into like, the heart in conflict is tossed around a lot these days. It's like his heart, okay, Lois Lane, you know, Superman in particular, like the stories that focus on his girlfriend are particularly compelling.
So, and Roland's fun too because he does have guide rails. He's got to talk in Bible verses, and he's always has to do the right thing. He's like, I need him to be a paragon, a literal paragon across the board. And book 2 features a conversation without any other paladins around to interpret what he's saying to the individual. So he's just talking to a dude. That was a lot of fun to write, actually.
Yeah,
he's simply a man talking to another man.
I saw my couple coworkers, these 2 ladies. They're fantastic, but you can ask them a question or say something, and they will sing back an answer or sing back the words from all these different songs. And that reminded me of Roland. So I told them, I was like, there's this character in this book I read. He's awesome. I was like, he only responds in Bible verses. And they're both, believers too. So like, oh my gosh, that's so cool. We got to try that. We should do that. We should make it a thing. I was like, you totally should.
I thought you were going to say, they'd be like, and what's the connection?
Yeah.
And writing that, has helped me grow a little bit because I don't have the Bible memorized, not by any stretch of the imagination. So I'm like, I got the Bible app open. I got a website like, Roland needs to say this. Okay, Bible verses that mean tangential to this. I find that verse, or a part of a verse, or sneak it in there. And I'm kind of cheating a little bit because the word thanks gets said because it's the
no, you're not cheating.
Because one word, more complete verses though.
You gotta look. You gotta look it up though and do some research. Like you said, you're growing because of it. You're not like all of his dialogue is written already for him, right? Technically, you're still not cheating. That's a lot of research and stuff, like to find the right response and all that.
Respectful plagiarism.
Yes, and I'll add that out of all your characters, and you're very self-aware of this in the book. I caught a couple times that you hung a lantern on this. That you're very self-aware that Roland is a unique and powerful character. You were aware of that when you were writing the book, like you caught lightning in a bottle kind of thing, and just direct that in a really powerful spot, man. And Roland could actually be a really good like symbol for a lot of things more than just Record of the Paladins, because just think about that whole idea, man. Like, he speaks in scripture, like that's it, like it's almost a speech impediment kind of thing, but it's not. It's just even more profound and powerful, and it reinforces everything about him. It's cool. I don't know. That's all.
Well, there's another very important aspect of his character that I caught reading it the couple of times I've read it, and that is he's referred like Roland in regards to the Paladins and how and where they are found. He's always the first and always the last, which means that at some point he's leaving, and I'm not going to be happy about it. He's an older man at this point, despite his advantages, so to say. And I'm like, oh, son of a gun, you're going to break my heart.
Yep.
It's fun to play that too, because Melissa says Roland will know all of the 2 generations of Paladins, but she didn't say anything about everybody else knowing everybody else. Only Roland has to know everybody else, so it gives me freedom. Like, I can kill off some people once Roland's met them. All right, carry on.
That's messed up.
Stop it.
Oh, that's great, man. But yeah, man. How like, because in your first book you have that format. It's modern day learning about the world of the Paladins and going on missions. Flashback to Oliver growing up, obviously. How did you anticipate that? Like obviously you have a slightly different perspective going into book 2. How did you imagine balancing that before you started writing? And how did that change?
The way I visualized it, and Daniel hosts a Discord server called Laureate, and I was on the final stages of writing book 1 when I joined Laureate, and people in there were beta readers for me in that book, so it worked out well. And when I visualize it, I think of like a really good television show where like the first half is telling you the current day story, and the second half is telling you kind of a little bit of backstory. It's not always directly connected, but because you're watching it through the television, you can visualize young people, you can visualize the older person, and the stories are going to connect. So I knew when I'm writing this, I said, okay, I need to open every chapter very clearly with like a sentence or two, what's going on. So I say, after getting off the plane at the Vatican, or when leaving Ireland, Oliver and Garen, like I wanted to make sure that I put that reader's mind back into that next chapter. I said, okay, now we're going to the back of time because it's the same names, so I want to make sure it's clear on which time period was happening. So,
oh yeah, for sure.
Very difficult.
No, anytime you're jumping back and forth, especially with the same character, it can be very, very good, but it can be really challenging as well. Most authors wait until you're kind of the characters are more established. Like Sanderson does that in the third Stormlight Archive book, but he doesn't do that in the first one, at least in regards to future and past flashbacks.
Yeah, and I had to do a lot of rewrites. So, like in book 1, Garen's death. So when Oliver first meets the Paladins as an adult, he retells the death. Then, like in the original writing, I had to trim that down a lot to kind of not ruin what actually happened when he actually died. He's dead. I made it too painful to talk about in a sense. But I was like, okay. Originally, I had Oliver explaining about the wounds, and Persephone was like, hey, there's no bears in Ireland. There's no way a bear killed him. I had this whole thing back and forth explaining a bear did not kill Garen. And then they talk about, I think it was a demon. And like I had to cut all that to say, okay, let's make it more of a surprise on how he dies. So,
Interesting. Yeah.
It is pretty sudden, especially as you're reading it.
I do like that whole reveal of like analyzing the wounds. It looks like a bear attack, but then the realization, like, well, there's no bears in Ireland or whatever. That's kind of cool. I like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yo, Andrew Campbell, thanks for coming by, man.
Yeah. And Sophie, I'm pretty sure it's my daughter.
I figured that.
Yeah.
What if it was just a stranger that was like,
she just happens to have your exact last name.
Yeah.
I think AC shared a picture of Dean McCoppin from the Iron Giant. That's what I was saying. That's a McCoppin. That character is McCoppin. That picture you shared.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, I was like, I thought you were saying like that. Okay. Yeah. I thought you were saying like the word is McCoppin. Yeah. And like it's a Picasso or whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Gotcha. No.
Yeah.
No, King Bob, I can't because I don't know where the first one went. I might have given it away to a friend, but I'm not positive.
What does King Bob want?
Oh, I got your audiobook. That was something you sent me, but I've purchased your first book twice because I bought it and I gave it to somebody. I might have been drunk. I can't remember. And then, I just got my another copy of the first book recently. So
I'm actually there with you. I had some copies of book 2 I ordered to have on the stream, and all but one I handed out to people. They're asking for it. So I got me grab it. I don't have any hardbacks. All I have left is the very, very first softback I produced that was even pre-edit. It's just like the formatting.
Soft. Yeah.
So
there you go. Kahuna can have that one because it's got.
No, it's garbage. It's not edited. It's
I
really
want that,
bad.
but it has the special sticker, McCoppin.
Yeah, he wants it just for the band.
I'll just cut the band out of that one and toss it on another one.
Don't worry about that.
You guys have this one too?
Ooh.
Oh yeah.
Ooh.
Nice.
These kids love the color. Like the kids, what color are these?
Yeah, it's fun.
That's
You,
cool.
you could have sold it as a coloring book.
That's cool.
Oh.
It's a good idea.
They're like,
Comic
the
that's a
colors are
coloring
missing. Here, son, color this in.
It's a really
Speaking
good
of
idea.
comic. Ooh.
Nice.
Brad and I are sharing a comic book artist.
Yes. So this is
You got that finished up?
Oh no, it froze again.
Oh,
There, he's
man.
back.
You're back. Yep.
Woo.
That's cool.
Oh, that church scene from it's so spooky, dude. I love it.
Still waiting on 10 pages, but it's almost there.
Awesome.
Sick, dude.
Tremendous.
Yeah, funny enough, Brian was the one who introduced me to Kevin art-wise because I was just talking with him about looking for a comic artist when I wanted to do G Sedai, and then I'm like paying Kevin essentially not to bother doing Brian stuff so he can work on mine.
So I'm like, I said, Kevin, I paid for 10 pages. He goes, I've been really busy, man. Like, well, that's good. What about 10 pages?
Give me my pages.
I'm really busy with this almost dystopian like future ninja story I've been working on.
That's because I'm like throwing money at him every week. Like, hey, finish.
Yeah.
He's-
I imagine you
he's
like
blown
it
up,
like
too.
an abusive businessman in a '90s movie, just like throwing cash at people across. The
Clean yourself up.
Do the work now. No.
Well, also pretty
great.
fortunate artist to be attached to two awesome projects. I
Yeah.
wonder what that's like.
He's quite good.
Yeah.
He's
Wonder what
happy
that's
now.
like.
Just wait till
You
later.
should know.
Yeah.
Oh, it's great, man. It's great. Oh
Yeah.
yeah, Justin, you've done stuff for both of these people too.
Yeah, I forgot to mention in my
Actually, three
intro.
of these people. Three of these people.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh,
So, Justin, what projects have you done for Daniel and I?
So for you, McCoppin, I did the track that I believe was actually used for that comic book campaign, if I'm not mistaken.
Mhm.
And then I also did one for the Record of the Paladins Book of Oliver. That was a punk rock kind of knockoff version of Blitzkrieg Bop by the Ramones. That was the song
Yes.
for Persephone. Which
I thought it sounded kind of Ramones inspired. Yeah.
that's, I was trying to get close without getting too
Oh, yeah,
close.
Persephone. That was the first thing I had you do was Persephone, wasn't it?
Yeah, because I was excited because I name my guitars. I don't know if anybody else does. It's like a boat to me.
Yeah.
You got to name your boat, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So my first guitar that I got whenever I was in like 9th grade, her name is Persephone. I was like, this is awesome.
That's great,
So
dude.
I
That's
made sure to
great.
use that guitar on that track in part. And so I got to do those tracks for you. And then I have another one in the works that, again, as I mentioned earlier, I'm excited about, but it's going to be a big undertaking because it's there's a lot going on in that track. And I have a vocalist friend of mine, and she's going to do some work on it. And
Ooh.
I haven't really worked with another vocalist on things in terms of this style. I've done screaming stuff and things of that nature, but this is a little bit different than that. So we'll see how it goes. It'll be a learning experience for me for sure. And then for Daniel, I've done, I don't even know at this point, several tracks for G-Side. 4 tracks. There you go.
Holy
So
smokes.
what was it? It was
I've only
brilliant.
actually shown 2 that he's done. I'm holding on to 2 for some other upcoming special content. Yes.
We got the Angel War Rondo,
Mm-hmm.
Subori, I believe.
Yep. Subri.
The one that is unreleased that I guess I won't say what that one is. And then the new one, which I don't know if that had, I think I gave it a name. I don't know if it was changed. It was called Sinister whenever I wrote it.
Yes, and I did not change it because that fit.
Okay, cool.
Sinister.
The hidden track so far is something special, and as soon as I can actually afford to finish it, it'll be debuted, and you all will get to see a totally different side of Justin.
Yeah, it's neat.
Yeah.
It was when I was putting it together too. We went back and forth because I'm like, I don't know if I have the access to the sound packs to make this the right way. And you're like, this is wrong. Go back.
Spanish.
And we went back and it
Female
was better for it
falsetto
finally.
operatic.
Yeah, you'll never guess it.
But it's fitting. It fits really well, I think, in the world and the
Yes.
style and everything else. So
And it's going to be awesome. My hopeful goal is if I can build up the scratch to do all of this stuff, I'll end up just making Justin my sound guy for the animated series.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Nice.
So,
Yeah,
Daniel, next you have to hire him to make your own version, G-Sedai version of Tokyo Drift.
Oh, and another track actually I did for Daniel was for the Freelancer, his show, the writing show that was on Sundays, that little lo-fi-ish type track was also one I got tapped for, which was fun to work on.
You did the Iron Age CD too, that project.
Yeah, with
First
AC.
Strike.
Yep, First
Yeah.
Strike. That's right. Yep.
Yeah.
So I did a track on that called Power that was sort of like a power metal 1980s sort of vibe, the combination.
The
And then
best
I got
vibe.
to me and AC went back and forth working on his track. Ultimately, JVP was tapped to do the guitars on that, and instead of myself, and the song kind of went in a different direction. But I did get to work with him on that track as well. AC again on the collab track, the last one, which I don't remember the name of offhand.
The track.
Yeah, the one that was all of us. With
Sure,
Kid
that's the
and
name.
me.
Correct.
The one that you were bringing in the Hetfield vocals on.
I can't remember.
I can't
Oh,
either.
What are you talking about? You did it though.
Yeah, I know.
It's just one of those things. You just
Yeah,
do the
man,
name
it's in the
changes and
past.
stuff.
Why would I
It's just
remember?
like track
You're-
5 or whatever, and then
You're in the headlights. What do you want? You're in the headlights.
Oh, also, Brian, going into I haven't gone that far into book 2, but I did start book 2, and I remember you when you first sent it off to me. You're like, hey, I think you'll like the beginning of the second book. I'm like, okay, cool. In Hawaii, you were you were pandering to me, son.
So when I wrote that chapter, we had just got back from Hawaii. I was like, oh, that's. I knew about the black sand beaches now. I was like, all right, this is a cool location. Let me write about this.
Cool.
It's like deep bright neon green vegetation, black sand, and a very like turquoise blue water. It's a pretty unique kind of visual when you're there.
Yeah.
Almost like glowing. Everything is just glowing, even the black sand for some reason.
Actually, that's just sounds
me. Like. Oh, okay.
It's a great way to open, though.
I was like, is that a filter on Kahuna's videos? No, that's just him.
Oh, there's a bunch of them, I guess. Is it a specific one of these black sand beaches? We got Honolulu, Waianapanapna, Oniuli, Kaimu.
Kaimu.
No, stop!
Richardson,
my culture.
Kahina, and Waipio. Nailed it.
This is the best part of having Justin on anything. Him trying to pronounce stuff.
Oh, this is it's better than Billy Bob, but because Billy Bob has that deep southern accent.
It's better to go hard into I'm not going to get this right than to be like oh Punaluu or something that's also still wrong, but you're trying to sound like Why Napa Napa?
Why Napa Napa?
Why Napa Napa? Maybe you're tired. I don't know.
Yeah. Why Napa, bro?
That's right.
So we're driving around, and the kids are having a good time with the name of the roads and the beaches and everything. Like, there's Poo Poo Highway, and two girls like, Poo Poo Road. Singing the Poo Poo Road.
Dude.
This place is wild looking.
Honolulu.
Yeah,
like, I was picturing it in my mind from what you're describing, and I mean, I know it's a photograph, but this is...
The photographs almost
really
don't
cool.
Like normally photographs make things look better, but honestly the photographs almost don't do it justice.
Yeah, I have a feeling it's one of those things that you see in person and you're just like, well, no, am I still on Earth?
Yeah.
Well, like Hawaii is known for the red dirt as well. Maui has a little bit of that, but like Hawaii is the one that's really known for the red dirt.
Wow.
And that's where you get like all the red dirt shirts and you can go to a red sand beach too, which is kind of different.
I thought red dirt was like a Kentucky thing. I feel like there's country songs about red dirt roads.
there are, but it's different. It's different.
But they were in Hawaii. Those fakes.
Well, they use the oxidized materials in the dirt to permanently dye shirts with. It's that potent.
Yeah.
It's like there are areas. It's like, hey, if you have a white rental, you can't go here. Sorry,
it'll be pink after you're done.
Now, in Record of the Paladins, one thing that I love about it, they world hop. There's a lot of travel and a lot of adventure. Yeah. How do you go about choosing which locations they go to? Is it all personal experience? Is it things that you've read about or seen, or
combination? So, a lot of personal experience. But like, I've never been to like the Ukraine or anything like that. So, if I want to write about an area, what I'll do before I write is I'll go to Google Maps and I'll try to zoom in and like, all right. So, for example, Gannon's Cross in Ireland, near where Garen lives, that's a real place. And I described exactly the white building and the red building. Is that intersection? That's a real place. It's a real intersection I described for real. So I try to find real places, describe it as it really exists, and then just go one layer deeper. So, okay, they're in this building now. They're in this cavern now. They're in this complex here. And, try to, okay, this is a real place. Somebody who might read this book might drive by there. But like, for my audiobook, for example, the guy who did it, he said he lived in a town a whole lot like Drywell growing up. I was like, that's crazy.
That's wild.
Like, so they're real places. And
so you need to do a Record of the Paladins map where you have like little, so you can actually travel to these locations if you want.
I tried. On book one, I tried to get like, I could never get it look the way I wanted to. So I probably need to hire a pro author, an artist. So I'm doing it all myself. I did the covers, did the pictures, did everything but the editing myself. So
the cover is cool. It's like basic.
The cartographer.
Cool.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man. No, you and I talked about that too. You're like, I haven't been to all these places, but I did the work, and yeah, clearly you did.
Yeah,
it's like there are places I've spent a whole lot of time in. I couldn't describe in that level of detail without really like putting some.
Maybe someday where some dude's gonna read it because that carnival is not really 4 blocks from downtown Chicago. You don't say.
I can't write about Chicago because I have some very strong opinions about the time that I was there.
Yeah.
I just like no one from Chicago would want to read anything I've
It would come out in the writing.
It's like the city festered in its own stench, and the people were not were deserving of that. Anyway, no.
This children's book by the Ultimate Kahuna just took a weird turn
really
when they
taking
got to
a dump-
Chicago.
It's really taking a dump on Chicago for no out of left field for
It's
no
describing
reason.
everything just very, very off-putting in Chicago.
Chapter
It's like,
4,
and Charlie
Chicago.
slew the dragon, ending the reign of terror. And then, unfortunately, the real terror began when he went home to Chicago.
It's like the Monty Python Camelot thing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Kuna's
This
book
is
could be
silly.
like Chapter 4, Chicago. It smelled and the people were horrible. Chapter 5.
Oh well, that was something, wasn't it? Anyway, let's move on.
Yes, that's a good idea. That's a good idea.
I mean,
you're-
it probably doesn't help. I was a child stuck in an airport for 24 hours with the lights on, and the news about that AAA or that one wrestler who disposed of himself and his family, playing on repeat for 24 hours.
Yeah.
Oh, that was fun. Not my favorite time.
Yeah, I don't have great memories of Chicago. I've traveled there a fair amount, and the airport there stinks.
I can attest to that.
One trip, the AC conditioner was broken, so like the whole airport was 100 degrees, and it's like snowing outside. Like, this is really weird. Like,
Whoa.
I'm having a jacket on, but I'm like sweating. So I take the jacket off. It's a weird day.
Wow.
You're like,
I
where
remember-
did what portal did I go through to get here?
The wrong one, the wrong way. I remember it being super windy and cold and like just like the same as Minnesota. Like I was like, this is like a dirtier Minneapolis, if that's somehow possible. This is like an even dirtier Minneapolis, and
The great city of Chicago, slightly dirtier Minneapolis.
Yeah. Well, just like I kind of say Ohio is a slightly cleaner Minnesota. I don't know how to describe that.
I've never heard anyone call Ohio clean. That's amazing.
That being said, I live in proximity to Seattle, and I have no room to talk about anything. Oh,
if you
Seattle.
if you travel right through the heart of Indiana and then go right through the heart of Ohio, you'll see what I mean.
No, that's my
You'll see
family.
what
My
I mean.
mom's family's
I have
central
weirdly-
Indiana. My dad's family central Ohio. So I've
Oh.
traveled those meth beaten paths. I've been there.
Okay. I counted like over a dozen collapsed barns just on the side of the road in Indiana, and then you get to Ohio and it's just like I said, just very much like Minnesota, but like a slightly cleaner version.
You know, in all the areas of the U.S. I've wanted to travel through, that's just not a stretch that's ever made it on any
Yeah.
of my lists, man. I
what's
think
there?
it's more like, oh no, all the roads are shut down. This is the only way forward.
Yeah, through this blizzard. Yeah.
The Oliver goes to Indiana. He travels to Washington Courthouse in Washington County, Indiana, which is the courthouse my parents got married in. So it was the wrong. It was the one before the orphanage. Is the wrong stop. So I was like, all right, this is the wrong stop, Mom and Dad. I'm sorry, you're from town at the wrong stop.
You're are you
Bad form, Kahuna.
This is my first meal today, so sorry.
Not only is he eating on stream, but slurping. Oh man.
All right, hold on. You guys won't want to see this.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to come across country just to hit you with a ruler.
Now is the
I mean, you are a teacher. It wouldn't be
Yeah.
out of form for
It's
you
right
as
on
a
the
teacher
knuckles.
or me, frankly, as a student. So
so world hopping was a big part of the first book, and it's also present in the second book. Is that a theme that's going to be carry through all of the books? Do you think?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's a
Awesome.
global threat. You know,
Yeah.
I don't want to just hang out like in one state or whatever, one country.
Sure.
we can't only kill demons just in LA. I mean,
Any
we
uh,
could forever.
any
But-
plans of going to Antarctica?
Not
No,
yet.
not
Hollow
yet.
Earth confirmed.
What was it? A population of 77 there. So
They need protection like anybody else. You know, they might be the most vulnerable there. You know,
Polar
Paladin
bears.
versus
Maybe-
the
well,
lizard.
there's
You
no,
got
there's
demon
almost
penguins.
like it's such a small
Yep.
population. You'd be like, wow, why is Jerry acting so weird? It's like there's nowhere to hide either, so you can't
Exactly.
pretend
What are you
like
gonna run?
everything's kosher.
What are you gonna run? It would be like a survival like chunk of the story, the survival act. He's like surviving in Antarctica, running from his friend that just got possessed or something.
It's just the
Record
movie
of
The
the-
Thing with like
Yeah,
I
Roland
was about to
showing
say
up.
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
That would be
Yeah.
cool.
Well, now I'm sold. Now you
And
have.
Melissa's like, that one's not real. That one's not real. I can tell.
Yeah, Bats makes a good point. It's a huge gateway because nobody would go like, there's nothing in Antarctica. There can't be anything going on down there. No one lives there.
Nothing.
It's the perfect place for a portal.
I'll add to that, McCoppin. You should dive into conspiracy theory lore because it's rife with. I mean, there's a whole thing right now where people are tracking like everything celebrities do because it's all so satanic, which makes sense. I'm all for it. But like the Antarctica conspiracy theories, like I mentioned Hollow Earth joking, but Justin's onto something right here. He's onto something here because like there's so many around. Like, what is there? What are they hiding? Like, okay, the Earth's not hollow, but like, why can't anybody go there? Like, why is it just, you know what I mean? Like, there's so many, like, so much mystery. So
I'd rather talk about how much I appreciate the fact that the big baddie at the end of this book is, spoilers for book 1, not Taylor Swift.
Yeah, Jeanette, man, Jeanette.
Not Tay.
Oh.
A little bit Taylor
There's
Swift,
a lot of
Hannah
that.
Montana.
Yeah,
The trope continues in book 2.
Yeah.
Oh, bro.
Now
You gotta
sorry, go ahead.
You gotta have like tangential celebrities that are possessed or actual demons of some sort.
Sure.
Yeah.
Have fun with it.
You even got the new demon face syndrome thing in there. The whole thing.
Yeah,
that
so
they just
When
talked
I'm writing the
about.
book before I published it, that became a meme. I was like, "Oh, it's in my book," but it beat me to release.
And I could tell by the way you talked about all those subjects that you were like, because like I was aware of when you wrote your book, and I'm kind of like me and my wife do that TikTok watch along with us show or whatever. So I see a lot of the really weird conspiracy theories of the internet, and like the news came out with the demon face thing, like, oh, if you see this, it's just in your mind, like, and everybody's like, they're preemptively gaslighting us, and they're just gonna unveil the demons, and you describe it to a T perfectly. They're rationalizing it as Ozempic face as well. Apparently, a lot of celebrities take Ozempic, and it starts giving them.
Ozempic. He's the demon lord of Circle 3, I think.
yeah, basically. That's another good reveal for you. There is you could talk about like.
Well, it's like too like even in the book when you talk about the show, I'm like, I've been to a couple of concerts. Like, it's not that different, actually. Like,
right.
Maybe the ending's a little more different, but the beginning part.
They're all trying to they're all trying to show each other up now with these live rituals. Is more what they are. And I even saw a video the other day. Who knows? A lot of stuff can be taken out of context, but like the dude just started like one of the audience members started like seizing and stuff, and like.
Yeah, I mean,
looked like they got possessed.
Even the guy who did Old Town Road, the videos he started making later on, I'm like, this is just this isn't like cryptic or hidden symbolism. It's just like this video is full of like satanic imagery. And then even at the recent Super Bowl, they cut to what's her name, Ice Spice, and she's wearing like the upside down cross, and she's doing this stuff.
She did the devil horns. Yep.
Yeah, it was weird.
That is a weird thing. I want your guys' opinion on
that.
This
Was us.
That went all over TikTok, by the way. The Ice Spice clip. I had to hear about that for a month, but
I'm sure that's why she did it, for the attention or what have you. But it's just odd. I'm like,
same thing like Target when they hired that Satanist to do all their decorating for Pride Month.
Yeah,
I'm like, do you not know that like majority of your shoppers are Christian women
after
they know on Sunday?
They know. It's part of it. It's part of it. The plan.
Now, a few cents ago, AC said diving into subject X or Y. Obviously, McCoppin, you're a bit of a diver yourself, so we're going to see some underwater adventures in the future here with the series.
Yeah, for sure. We'll
I figured I'm
have to get there because that's a lot of tension you can build around. Like the pressurization and depressurization of your body. You have a lot of fun with that. Yeah, and drowning.
Demon sharks.
Demon sharks.
Demon clams.
You know what's
demon clam? Holy crap! Demon sharks. Holy crap! Oh my goodness.
Well, that's the obvious way. I want like
demon octopus.
I want the demon lemon shark. It's something that's ordinary.
I like the surprises too, like beavers and otters and deers.
It's all cute. Smile.
Yeah, yeah.
Or when Oliver shoots a bird that's not a demon and Melissa gets mad at him.
Yeah, that was pretty good. That was pretty good. I was like,
I promise
because
that
I was
spider
thinking
was
that
possessed. I promise. Demon
And-
spider had to go.
that was you hanging a lantern on it. Also,
Oh, that
by
was
the
one
way.
of the funniest misunderstandings of the whole book. It's like, nodding meant it was.
Yeah, yeah.
I like that too.
one.
This book, it has a little bit of everything. You get some really serious moments, some really heavy drama, and like I said, it brought a tear to my eyes. Both books at different points, and it has a lot of heart. But then there's also moments where they are joking around. You get like the full spectrum of being a person, which I appreciate because there's a lot of
Yeah.
I think of a lot of movies in particular, and everybody in it talks like this the entire time, and no one ever cracks a joke or it's just serious. I'm like, I understand things are serious, but
Yeah.
people are still people, and
Yeah.
so I appreciate that the characters feel more well-rounded and human in that sense, and easier to relate to because I have never in my life had a conversation with somebody like this ever,
whole
and I
Moment
probably
is
never will.
Yeah.
So I
super
appreciate that.
serious.
Yes.
Don't get divorced. Anyway, moving on.
From a
That's
writing
how
point of
it
view,
is.
you can't stay one level of tension the whole book because then you don't gain any attention. You got to loosen up, then retighten, and loosen up, and tighten a little, and keep the reader kind of guessing. Like, is the next fight crazy or is it it's a walk in the park?
Right.
You know, have fun with it.
Well,
Right.
well, yeah. It's like you get the stronger emotions in the contrast of things in a story. You need the darkest dark and the lightest light in order to really bring out the best in both, especially in regards to a story.
I
At least
agree,
that's
and
my opinion.
a lot of stories don't do that at all. Especially some recent like mega blockbusters that everybody ranted and raved about as being this amazing, and I'm like, the tone.
I
is
know,
just
like
kinda-
Dune 2.
There's like
that Justin
action and
also
then
loves.
flat. Then I was gonna add Dune is what I was thinking of. It's kind of just flat, then action, then suspense.
We
then
don't
kinda
talk
flat.
about New Dune.
we don't. We
The
don't.
only comedy I
Okay,
think was
Brian,
accidental, too.
Daniel's trying to control my speech again, so
Ruler.
Do you feel oppressed, Kahuna?
I feel very oppressed, actually.
Well, that's violence. Daniel canceled.
Words
Yeah,
are violent.
he'll-
Wait. I got
Honestly,
He'll feel quite
Where's the
oppressed
violence?
at the
Where's the
barbecue.
violence?
Yeah.
the fact that you call yourself ultimate, makes me feel a little bit inferior. So if you
Yeah.
could change that for me, that would be
Well,
awesome.
frankly, as a native Hawaiian POC, yes, you should feel inferior. First of all,
Well, you got us there,
Sorry, I'm
boys.
so sorry. I didn't know. I'm so sorry. Forgive me.
apologize.
Oh,
That was the
got
proper-
weird.
That was the proper reaction, Justin. But you didn't throw enough money at him.
Reparations.
You'd be
Yeah,
amazed
yeah.
how much a little reparations would go. How far a little reparation would go.
In the life of Kahuna, let's go.
Let's go.
Bring it
Oh,
on.
Sound like
No.
Elizabeth Warren, chief running mouth over here.
Oh man.
Now, not to jump too far ahead, but
No,
you have 12 books planned here. So this is book number 2 coming out. Is the timeline for book number 3 also about a year out from here? Or is it?
Yeah. So your book 3, I've probably got about a third, maybe 25% written. So I've already started
Nice.
running into it. And just to kind of lean into it a little bit. So book 1, Oliver, is focusing on finding your purpose. Book 2, Yvonne Ivoire, is going to focus on accepting yourself and your mistakes. It's kind of the trend for that. Book 3,
Forgiveness.
what's that?
Book's intense.
Forgiveness.
Forgiveness, a lot of forgiveness. Book 3 is going to lean. It's Book of Ansice is the new Paladin. I can leave a spoiler alert because it's the name. Book 3 is going to lean on being more accepting of your own shortcomings and faults. So it's going to be. I want each of the 12 books to kind of be a life lesson in a way that somebody can relate to. Oh, I had similar struggles with this person. I had similar. I don't want 12 Oliver stories. 12 orphans who get adopted and learn their life, or I want
They're
each.
all orphans. That's the spoiler.
I don't have any more
far.
orphans.
Oh, it's like superhero syndrome's like, wait, your parents were gone too? We
Yeah.
have so much in common.
So with every release, obviously we have several authors in here. What is your favorite part of the having it finished? Is it like a relief? Is it excitement? Do you look forward to the streams like this and doing interviews and bouncing around the internet? Do you like going to the cons? What's the most exciting? Getting the merch?
I think for me, it's when I meet my readers and they say things like, "Man, that was my favorite thing I ever read." That touched me. Like I got a fan who I did not expect. It's a friend of mine's mother, like an older lady. I was like, she goes, "I love your book. When's the next one? It's amazing. It's the best book ever. When's the next one come out?" I was like, I did not expect like this 60 or 70-year-old individual to like, "Hey, this is amazing." It's way outside my target audience. Like, okay, cool.
That is really cool.
No,
Yeah.
I love that too. Yeah, like even with like I don't write books, but like even with my videos, like my mom and dad don't really get my humor. Fine, it's fine. But then all of their friends come to them telling, "He's so funny. When is he releasing the other video?" My dad's like, "What do you mean he's not that funny?" I'm like,
That's
I
hilarious.
get a little bit of that. My mother's favorite comment is, "You're such a sour person in regular daily life, and your books are all so, hopeful and positive. And why aren't you like that?" And I'm like, "Because I'm not like that. That's why I write that way."
Why can't you be more like your books, Daniel?
That's so funny. I had the same kind of experience because I mean I do a lot of like metal with like screaming and distorted vocals and stuff. Exactly. And my mom and dad were always supportive even though they didn't quite understand, and it was the same kind of thing. Mom would be like, "You sound really angry, but you're a happy person. Why are you yelling?" I'm like, "It's just the style. It's just like the energy." She's like, "What if you did like something happy, like yourself?" And I'm like, you don't get me, Mom. Gosh,
You don't understand.
You don't understand.
No,
You know what it's
Justin,
like.
you got to come back with I got 2 wolves in me, and they're both a little retarded.
Oh.
Get to slam the door when you're finished talking.
Yeah.
course.
Yeah. Go to your room.
So, obviously there was merch with the first release. We had the tumbler, you had the mug you were showing off earlier, the hat, the shirts, the hoodies. Do you have a like pie in the sky? If you could have any piece of merch and it's like anything is fair game, what would be like the dream thing to make, even if it's just for yourself?
So
Roland suit of armor when?
That's the obvious answer, right?
The revolvers that Oliver uses, they're actual revolvers that are modified a little bit.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
They're Webley Fosberries. They're chambered in 380, so it's got the larger. The smaller bullets have got the larger chamber count.
Can you show this, or will it like affect the stream?
No, it's fine.
That's
So that revolver there, I used Photoshop. I took an actual photo of it and just added the extended barrel, added a couple other features to make it my photo. The cheapest I've ever seen that revolver for sale is $15,000.
Yeah,
Very rare.
I looked into it too. They're a pretty penny, dude.
Yeah. So if I got, let's say I got huge all of a sudden, and like, hey man, the movie's coming out. Like, can I just have the props? Like, have the revolver. I don't care if they work.
No. Brian, what you got to do is you got to go inspect them to make sure that they're of the proper quality. Oh wait, guys, one of them missed. Oh shoot. Oh no.
I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened.
I don't know what happened.
When
I wasn't even there, man.
Happens, I will commission a suit of Roland armor to wear to the premiere.
Awesome.
Yes. The cosplaying is going to be. See, and that was kind of what I'm getting at with the
like no one's business.
Right. The lightning in the bottle thing with Roland as a character, man. He's got the armor. He's got like the catchphrases that are always fresh and new. It's just say a Bible verse, you know what I mean? But it has to be in the right context. It can't just be random.
I can see the toy. It's like on the back. There's like a keypad. You enter the Bible verse and he just says it.
Yeah,
that'd be cool.
That'd be sweet. Yeah.
That's what I want. I want like I have a handful of like the little action figure guys that I've gotten as gifts or whatever over the years. I would love something like one of these, but
I would love that too.
Would be sick.
Yeah.
But I know that kind of stuff is crazy expensive on both ends. But
yeah,
I know.
Even like stuffed animals. I was looking at the demon otters. To make one was like $30. It's like no one's going to buy a $30 stuffed animal. So
the black, Man in Black, not Black Man. What am I saying? The Man in Black from Gunslinger, but yeah.
Yeah, looking into the merch for my graphic novel campaign, I feel you on the $30 per object just for merch. It's pretty intense. Yeah, like a vinyl, I'm looking at like $40 per vinyl if I want to do, because Justin here actually had a great idea of putting an audiobook on a vinyl, and it works if it's a short story, which mine is. And when I looked at the vinyl, the max time is about an hour. My short story is under an hour for the audiobook. So I'm like, looked into it. It's like $35-$40 per thing. We're offering like a full deck of cards on our thing too. Even those are like quite a bit each. Like $30
cards
each.
are expensive. I have a couple decks of custom cards from Kickstarter for different things. One of them by an artist friend of mine. Still costs a lot of money.
We have a 3D printer, so even if I had the STL file, I could print, the model or what have you. But even if the character's only like this big, I mean, you're talking, depending on what kind of resin you're using, I don't know, like between $3 and $6 worth of just the resin. And then to actually hand paint the thing takes a ton of time as well. And so I understand why things get expensive fast, but
frankly, you don't sell those kind of things painted. If it's a model like that, you don't sell it painted because most of the people, the target demographic of that, especially if it's like in that size range, is going to be a miniature person, and they typically like to paint things themselves.
They like to paint it. Yeah. Cool. If you had it painted, you would have to either get really good yourself or send it to like a master who will make it look like the same quality as like the D&D miniatures that come pre-painted. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I used to repaint stuff like that when I was back in my hobby days.
I hand painted a Goku, and it was a pain with the tiny little brushes for like, the eyes and stuff. And you like mess up, and it's like, I can't erase this. What now?
It's like, why would you paint the eyeballs on a miniature this tall? I'm like, they don't know his eyes are blue.
Sorry, Daniel. I mean, I didn't mean to cut you off.
It's all good. The truth of merch, and this is why I always cringe when people do go really hard into merch as small independent creators. I like what Brian did because it's all based around one symbol just on different things. But when you go into just a broad swath of it, merch is only successful if there is a market. It's an investment. You have to pay ahead and then get it back slowly over time. That's how it works, because the cost goes down the more you order.
Sure.
Mm-hmm. So if there is a sweet spot, but that sweet spot is in the thousands of dollars range, where you're actually making money off of the production of it versus the sale cost. With small indie creators like we are trying to do that with 50 to 100
just drop
things.
$10,000 on a bunch of merch.
Yeah,
we don't know if
it's not.
Will sell.
It's not fiscally worth it at all.
Yeah, as authors. Real quick. As authors, you can kind of rationalize it by having your books lying around, but you still got to sell those books. So you might want to go to a convention with all your books or something at some point. If you overbuy. But
so talk about merch and convention. I got to tell you a great story about the merch. So Roland Shield, obviously, when we wear the shirts that have people call us Crusaders, which is fine. That's it's in that same vein. I was doing a strawberry festival, and I was selling the merch, selling the books. And this mom and son walked up. Son's a teenager on the spectrum. And the mom goes, "Are these books about Crusaders?" I was like, well, one character wears that kind of armor. He's a paladin, but he wears that kind of... Because that's my son's favorite thing in the whole world. She had her phone, and he had like a full Crusader costume. And he's like, he loves it. So he goes, he's looking at the t-shirt. He looks at the cups. He's looking at the hats. He's like, love it. She's buying everything because her son just loved the symbol. I was like, well, hey, have a free book too. If you're my teacher, take a book and just see. Can you read? Like, yeah, okay, give him a book and have fun with it. And it's great. So it's just so heartwarming. This little boy was so excited about the symbol. He wanted everything. Sweet, I was like, oh,
that's cool.
Like I would have been worried about the opposite. Like people like say you step hard like Crusades, or
Yes,
I would have been.
He will get that. He will get that, and it's fine. It's fine. People are always going to look for something. I'm, waiting for my wave of, shade to come surging in. Daniel, I'm sure you've seen some shade.
You want it. You want that.
You get it.
Yeah.
You just get it. It's
You need to embrace the people calling you fatty fish Hawaiian. You need to embrace it. If you fight it, it just gets worse.
Or howlies. All you howlies in Hawaii.
I just ignore it. I have no time for it.
Yeah. You know what your intent is. That's all that matters. It's not. Yeah. It's not anybody else's choice what your book.
I'm
is.
sure I might have missed a bunch of opportunities to blow up on the internet by not fighting with morons, but it's not worth my time to do it.
It's not a good long-term strategy. It's a good short-term strategy, but not long-term.
Right. So if you have a live campaign,
Man.
blow up on idiots during the live campaign. And then...
I gotta get going though. I gotta make dinner.
Cool.
Oh,
Thank you,
sweet.
DP Rod. So where can people find you?
Whimsyland.org right there in the text. You can also follow me on Twix, which is Twitter/X, depending on what you want to call it, at Mr. DP Riley.
Beautiful.
Sweet.
Thank you for joining us, sir. It was a pleasure to have you. Mr. Editor, Mr. Book Advisor.
Yeah, I'm gonna start poking you in about 6 months so you can actually stay on your 1 year deadline.
Ooh.
The
Where's
wife
the book,
already is.
Brian? Where's the book, Brian?
Is on.
You hear that, Brian? He's gonna start poking you.
Yep.
Ugh.
Oh.
Got that really long sword. You're gonna.
Roland, Roland? Are you armed? Or are you just happy to see?
It's like Robin Hood Men in Tights, the sword.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
All right, fellas.
Bro.
Good chilling,
Later,
Danny.
man.
Peace
you,
out,
sir.
DP.
So for everybody watching at home, I'm trying to not keep up in the comments. There's too many comments. I gotta be better about it. I just posted again the link. Book one's free, so please just go download it, even if you don't want to read it.
I already have it, Brian. I can't. I don't.
Do you have
know.
the digital?
I do. Yeah. I didn't
I
even
have it.
realize.
No,
but I
that's
do,
good.
yeah.
Yeah.
I have it pulled up right here.
I tried, but it said something about Kindle Unlimited or something. I wasn't sure if I could just download it as a one-off.
I don't know. That's good. That'd be good to know.
It says 0 to buy, read for free. So I click read
Yeah.
for free. Oh, wait. That's what I did wrong.
Click.
It says
download
read for
yeah.
free or buy for free.
Buy for free.
Also, I did order your new book.
Buy
today
now for
as well.
free.
It hasn't updated, but I can see my order, so I definitely
Did you do digital or physical, Mr. Cooper?
physical. I did physical.
Whoa.
Okay.
So, am I
So,
seeing this? Oh, sorry.
and you're right. What are you trying to?
I was going to say,
download?
am I seeing this right? The audiobook is on sale too.
For it should be like pre-order status or something like that.
I'm seeing add audio. Oh, Audible audiobook to read and listen. This says buy for $7.49 for the Audible. Audible audiobook on here.
Oh, that's probably the AI. It reads to you.
Oh, really?
Oh, cool.
Didn't know
Yeah.
they had
Yeah,
that.
'cause I'm looking
Yeah.
at it. I don't see it. Yeah.
Interesting.
Because the audiobook's not done yet.
Oh, this is sorry. This is for book one.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay, makes sense.
Book one is available. That's a good price. $8, whatever it was.
That's what I was just thinking. That's what it says. It says $8.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
what Audible has been on a almost perpetual sale for the last like several
Good.
months, which is
Yeah.
good because they kind of.
$7.50 it's a good deal.
You know what? Part of what brought that about was a couple of big creators, including Brandon Sanderson, basically saying, "Hey, you guys are being kind of crappy to the people who write the books, the people who narrate, and the audience. There are other options out there." And so Brandon Sanderson withheld four of his private books and did not let them go on the platform at all for like an entire year. And they're like, "Fine, we'll give fair deals, whatever."
A little bit, kind of fair,
Kind of
more fair. Yeah.
And again, you having an audiobook is such an important aspect about accessibility. Because there's
Agreed.
a lot of people who love books, but a lot of people, like my parents are a great example, they can't read, really.
Yeah.
Like, it hurts their eyes too much to read physical books.
My target audience too is going to be mostly, middle-aged men or Christians, so they're not really readers at sometimes. So they want to listen while they jog or they drive to work or they're fishing or whatever. Yeah, it makes it easy.
Yep. I did it while I was mowing the lawn.
Yeah.
Fun.
He finished the entire book while mowing his lawn.
A big
And
lawn.
then he still had to continue
One time.
mowing his lawn.
I mowed the lawn one time and got through the 9-hour audio.
We made him send a video of what was happening with his
What
yard.
was
Like, why is this taking so long? We're like, oh, now we understand the
It's
battle.
like scalped all the way down. It's been mowed over a dozen times.
I was picturing him like using the Tanalog tools of like the people in the Philippines, like basically scissors, just like down there, like snipping.
Bad Sauce thought I was just mowing the same spot all day.
Yeah, just standing there.
The book was so good, just like in a daze. Like,
Yeah. The sun just cooked me. No, it was just a jungle. We found out after I double checked with these guys, they're like, "No, okay, you're." It's just a really long lawn.
Yeah, we were baffled. We're like, why would it?
Oh
are
yeah,
on,
you
like
had
10
you
acres
had
with a
an
push mower?
electric
Like, what's
lawnmower
happening?
too, didn't you?
Yeah,
That
oh,
was
yeah.
definitely part of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm so lazy now, man. I have an electric, like a riding mower. It's so easy. I don't even have a big yard. I just like, oh well, I can do 2 passes. I'll thatch it also. It's so easy, dude.
Right.
Kahuna, you said you bought the paperback copy.
Yeah.
Just to share some inside information for those who don't know, I won't see that sale until it delivers. That's how it works when you produce books.
Oh.
The digital I see right away on my dashboard here. So the 37, we just hit 37, so it's a ding, ding, ding. Those are all digital. So anybody who ordered physical today, I won't know until it gets delivered.
Huh.
So
cool.
it's interesting how that works.
I guess
that is
maybe
tricky,
until it's
yeah.
delivered, people can still cancel or something. Is that
Yeah,
why?
probably. Yeah. So, like, anybody that orders today, I probably won't know until like Wednesday or something. Depends on how long the delivery takes, and it's not always.
I would love to
I
buy
tested it. Like, I use my dad. I say, Dad, go buy 5 books. I'll pay for it. And he bought 5 books, and I wanted to see how long it took and when they showed up. And I knew exactly, when that bump would hit. Like, okay.
Sweet.
Yeah.
I would buy digital in solidarity of your release, but I'm so bad. I don't read my digital books, dude. I can't read it on my phone. It's so hard.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of it.
It's
Yeah.
so hard.
I've done a couple, but yeah, it's got to be a special book.
It's like Katie, like Priapsis Press. Hard word for me to say. Her husband David Room, he has a couple of books written, but they're only digital, so I have them that way. I'm like, I will someday eventually finish it. I'm sorry. But yeah, man, going from book 1 to book 2, what are some things people who people who really liked book 1, what are some things maybe new to look forward to going into book 2?
So book 2 is a little bit faster paced. While
No
book 1, I was
exception.
able to take a lot of time with Oliver and Garen and build that relationship up. Yvonne and Ivoire, their life is not pleasant, I think is the good start. Ivoire didn't start bad, but it's hardship. So I don't want to dwell on the hardship. I like dwelling on the calm moments, the peaceful moments between Garen and Oliver. One of my favorite scenes to write was him teaching Oliver how to shoot the first time. Just that slowing down, how to aim, how to stand, how to hold your pistol, how to and just that building down and step by step there. But then with the stuff of Yvonne and Ivoire, I don't want to linger. Like, okay, this is terrible. What's happened to them? Here's what's happening. Here's why it's happening. It's necessary. But I'm not getting.
It's always a tough choice because, like, you don't want to shy away and pretend like bad things don't exist in the world. Because if you're going to have any semblance of realism in your story, you will have to display that to a degree.
Yeah,
but there is a degree of how explicit you, like how closely you look at it and how long you linger.
Yeah. And book 1 kind of speeds up a little bit as it goes along and ends on action scenes. Book 2 kind of slows down as it comes along. Like the towards the end, as Yvonne and Ivoire reach their final destination in this book, it slows down to let them get to their places for the next book. So
yeah, I think you have so real quick. You have that line in the first book that says some things are too painful for words.
Yeah,
that's all I want to know.
When he's crying because Garen just died, he's sitting there. Yeah, good memory.
Yeah. Book 2, there was some moments and events in it that I thought. I mean, it had a lot of surprises and a lot of interesting twists that I was not expecting. So I will say that there was a couple of those, I think, in the first book for sure as we're developing, but I think in this book there was even more, and it was the kind of twist where you're like, where is this going? Like this is world affecting, I guess. So I'll try to be non-spoilery here.
And you have
to. I'm curious now because I don't get surprised by books that often, but every now and again. So I'm curious if I'll be surprised too.
Yeah. Book 1, pretty straightforward. There's a clear-cut thing what the demons are trying to do. They're trying to get through the 3 ceremonies. The last ceremony is going to summon a Lord of Hell, and they want to get there by sacrificing thousands. There's a way to get there. Book 2 is like, what are they doing? Half the book's trying to figure out exactly what they're doing. Well, book 1, they kind of figure out pretty early. They need to get ahead of it. So I want to keep the readers engaged. Okay, hey, this is another ceremony. No, it's not another ceremony. This is different. And so that's going to be my challenge as I go forward. I already got book 3 figured out. So book 3's challenge is figured out. So that's the most important thing for me is who is the bad guy? What is their plan? And how do they want to achieve their plan? Was like my goal. So book 1, no real clear-cut bad guy because we're kind of learning about the world. At the end, it's Shanette's kind of, Valak was the demon name of Shanette, is, finishing up her plan, their plan. Or call it. Book 2.
Taylor Swift's plan. Yeah.
Taylor Swift's. Book 2 has more clearly defined villains that follow you along through the tale. And you guys should get the perspective on a lot of things, too. And then book 3, same thing. I got the demon figured out. I've got their plan. I got their powers. I got their the paladin figured out. So now I just need to work the connections as they flow through the story. And you guys are creators, too, so you understand this process. This is for the more for the audience.
Yeah. Are you a fan of Jim Butcher?
I'm not aware of who that is.
Author of Dresden Files.
Oh, okay. I haven't read any of that, but I'm okay. I've heard of that.
I was hoping you'd say that because you remind me of him a little bit.
Of the author?
Yeah, your writing style.
Oh, okay.
Writing style.
I've heard Ted Decker too.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure. You're a little bit like a blend of Ted. This sounds bad, but it's not. A blend of Ted Decker. It's like if Ted went to Jim and was like, "Hey, what if we had a child?" And then you came. I don't know.
I love how Trump's arranging this.
Yes. Trump would make a killing doing audiobooks. Just saying.
He would.
Frankly, the dragon, not that impressive. Not that impressive.
Just read the book. Stop interjecting with your own thoughts. Like, no.
The man in black fled across a desert, and the American followed. Gunslinger followed.
It was a bright desert. It was a horrible time. We looked around.
They're animals, frankly.
Such an awful desert, but frankly,
the slow mutants. They're all Democrats. They're just
reading your book. Oh, favorite book in the Bible. Just read the script. Anyway, he only spoke in verse. Something really unique about.
Yeah, he speaks about. Yeah, that's how he reads it. Maybe it's better that he doesn't do it.
Maybe it's better, but it's fun to meme on. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, bad saw shit right there. That's where I threw it to Christian urban fantasy.
Yeah.
I would say so.
And I've learned book 1. I kind of aimed a little bit at YA because that's a big market, but not on who's buying my book. I'm going away from that. It's more 30, 40-year-olds and up that are who are jaded by the world a little bit. Like, oh man, the world's full of demons, and they're like, oh yeah, this is true.
Yeah.
I thought you were writing fantasy.
Yeah.
I can't write it fast enough. Things are happening before I can get it out. Like, that would have been a great story. I can't
You read the news. Spoiler.
Yeah. Seriously.
Like I said, man, you dive into that TikTok underbelly, you'll find some good story seeds.
Inspiration.
Yeah. Because like that I think is the exceedingly clever thing that you've done here. Much like the cross, where is it? Right here. Just like your emblem being kind of like a super familiar but different enough thing. You've built an entire world on top of our real world to the point where like you said, like, is some of this even fiction? You know what I mean? So and it goes that way with everything. Like that's the benefit of urban fantasy is the world building. When you put out your icebergs, there's so much more because the world itself is the real world. So it's a lot more than an iceberg. Actually, they're like twice the size. Because you can say New York, and New York is there. Everybody has context to that.
Makes it easier. Not like Gotham City or Metropolis or.
Yeah, I don't have to describe everything about when you say America or whatever. Yeah,
there are things in book 2 that as they happen, I'm like, oh, that's just like this person in real life. That's why they're doing that. That's why they're acting that way. It's like, oh, it all makes sense now. Thanks for explaining that, Brian.
Like in book 1, the media is like, oh yeah, it was a shooting, and there was like an animatronic that was a prop there. That wasn't really a demon.
I'm reading. I'm like, this doesn't sound that far off from a real story.
Yeah.
I also appreciate
it was a real demon.
Oh, yeah. Well, like the future, because we're gonna get to meet the other paladins. And based on what we learned in book 1, they don't have to necessarily be believers themselves.
Book 2, the 2 characters are not to start.
Yeah.
Only their parents matter, as you learn in book 1. Their parents matter. And that's part of my faith is you're not born a believer. You need to accept, you be baptized and accept, Jesus as your savior. So no one's born.
Well, yeah, I've heard that argument from one person in church once, and I was like, if that were true, there's no choice. Yeah. And if there's no choice, then what's the point of grace? And it just, the whole thing unravels without the choice. But yeah, no, I appreciate that about it.
And another thing we'll continue, we mentioned Oliver's weapons and Roland shields. So book 2, I'll hold the cover up again. The Paladin weapons are going to be either the tools of the trade. I think it's probably a better response here. Not all fighters. So
the crucifix,
obviously, Ivoire's crucifix, and you got Yvonne's watch. I won't spoil too much about what the watch does, but
I can guess.
Cool.
I can guess.
It's not. I mean, that giant hoop kind of gives it away a little bit. Like, why is there a giant hoop?
It's almost like you can put a finger through that hoop, and anyway.
These are fun to make because, Photoshop. I'll go in and find a picture of a cross and edit it down, and it's a switchblade. We put a switchblade on it, and make it. It helps me write the story too. Like, how would this be if somebody held this? Can they do this? Like, how would they open this? How would they get through this? So it helps make it more real for me too.
Oh yeah, having a visual really helps. Like I've been commissioning people to do comic, not pages, but concept art for some stories I have in my head, and having the visual really adds a layer to my imagination in regards to even my own story, which is great. And you've had comic work done, AC, you've had it done as well. I'm sure it's pretty cool to see a visual representation of something that's been written.
Yeah. So AC, let me ask you that. So I had 2 people do interpretations of my comic, and neither one's exactly what I visualized, but it's close enough. Like, all right, this is it. How's that for you?
About the same. The same. I got 2 different people as well, and dude, it's just it's just the same. And
sorry, my gray face paint and prosthetics weren't enough for you. But I did my best, AC.
Yeah. But even in the script writing process, there is a little bit that needs to fall by the wayside. You can't narrate because otherwise you're just putting the entire book alongside the comic.
Yeah.
So you got to cut out
detail driven. Like the laces were brown, each were 4 inches long, and they overlapped 12 times, and they went up the boot, and they wrapped around. I'm not spending a paragraph describing the left lace of a boot.
Or going back and forth 5 times on that one detail with your artist,
right?
And making him or her all stressed out, And,
or George R. R. Martin describing food. How are you going to put that in a comic?
Yeah, so describing food. So book 1, I talk about food a fair amount because I was on a diet during book 1. No, I'm having Kevin do book 1, obviously in comic form, and Oliver talks about having a barbecue in his youth. Garen's taking him to the waffle place. He goes, "Hey, my favorite food was barbecue because it was hot, I was outside, and it was fun." And Kevin is from Korea, so to him, barbecue was like the stick with all the meat and veggies on it.
Like a
kebab.
Yeah.
I was like, oh no, barbecue to a Southern American's like hot dogs and hamburgers, So it's neat, kind of making that interpretation back and forth.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, so, that's something too. In regards to the training that he underwent, what inspired the different places that he went to train? And obviously, it's interesting because he doesn't it's not like an anime or a bad Western book where he masters everything that he touches. They even talk about he ain't not great with the sword. Sorry, just not.
Yeah.
Great. So before I enter that, AC, you got an answer for Bad Sauce. Is he one of your artists? Is that what's going on here?
Oh, I'm his artist on his book.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
For the cover of his book, yeah. How does it feel?
I kind of have this open. So, contrary to what I just said about stressing your artist out, I actually personally don't really mind. So I encourage people I work with to just tell me every detail, because I don't want you to it's one of the final steps, Justin can attest to this. I brought him in as part of this whole quality assurance process on Jared Christman's poster for his movie. Just Yeah, man,
You guys are
I get
cool.
too
You're able to
self-conscious.
do that kind of stuff. Yeah.
I
Like,
get
I mess around,
self-conscious.
but it's not the same, man. You guys actually know what you're doing.
I can teach you, man. I'm telling you, I can teach you the basics pretty quick.
I gotta learn.
So to your question, Kuna, why did Garen take all over to the specific countries and places and follow that kind of path?
Yeah.
For me, is if I had the opportunity, that's the training regimen I would have followed growing up. If I had funds and freedom, I would have done that. I wanted to go to where each of those various martial arts were like at their pinnacle. Said, hey, we're going to learn how to shoot. Obviously, Oklahoma, North Texas. Yeah,
Texas,
good.
Yeah.
You're going to learn. You're going to learn judo. Let's go to Japan. You're going to learn karate. Let's go to Korea. You're going to learn boxing. We're going to England. We're going fencing. We're going to France. So let's go where we're the best. Let's go where it was invented. So, and then part of that was I had to research those institutions. Like that judo school in Japan's real. The fencing school in France is real. The boxing gym.
I could feel the France. I love that. It's like, anyway, France was kind of a mistake, but let's move on.
Was it SWAT team training?
Yeah, in California.
That was cool.
Yeah, California.
I wanted to send him originally. Like, can I send him the Marines or Navy SEALs? Like, how can I make that make sense? Like, it doesn't make any sense. There's no way. But like, if I had like some wild police officers, like, all right, I'll take on a 14-year-old. Let's do this.
Yeah.
Like, this is how I grew up,
whiskey.
son.
All right, we'll have fun.
All the elements of a good gunslinger being there.
Also, I do love the kahunas on him walking into LA with all his strapped and with all his gear.
Yeah.
That was when the editor I used for book one, when we're talking about that chapter, she goes, "He's so lucky you didn't shoot him." Like, yeah, if I got slapped in the head 4 times, I would have shot somebody probably too.
Right.
Yeah, it depends on how hard I get slapped. I don't know.
It's a good idea to have these types of I mean, even if it's just all contained within part of the first act when you're just initially building the character or like whatever, getting the protagonist to the point. It's Mary Sue insurance is the best way to put it. Is like you're showing how it's done, and I'll add anybody who reads your books will quickly understand like kind of what you're doing here with the book. Like he's clearly like been to at least one of these places. So like it's like you take an interest, or like the book pulls an interest towards you, and you clearly do some research. So I mean, and like between that and like the gunslinging and stuff, and even like the food scenes, it's just like I see what you're doing.
Yeah, as a writer, you're going to some of your fantasies a little bit as you walk through this.
We're all here for it.
Yeah, it's cathartic.
Yeah.
I'll have to go here in a second. Unfortunately, I have another show I'm going to be a part of here soon, discussing the manga Berserk.
Ooh.
Just as wholesome a topic as your books, surely.
Yes.
Definitely not the antithesis of your books.
How would Roland do in the Berserk world? Would it be okay, you think?
He with his modern weaponry, he'd be just fine for most of the time.
Would the Dragon Slayer is the name of Berserk sword, or what's the name of his sword?
The Dragon Slayer. Yeah.
It's a sword.
It's a slab of iron that's like 7 feet long, and everyone's like, then no one can even lift that. And then
so that was a little bit of interpretation for inspiration for Roland's sword. A little bit
for sure.
I want to make it more realistic and explain the weight, because it's got a tungsten core. That's why it weighs 200 pounds, because it's got a tungsten in the middle of it. But I looked it up. A sword that size, if it was just steel, would only have been like 45 pounds, which is still heavy for a sword. 45 pounds is massive. But how do you make this so heavy no one can lift it with this guy? And he does it one-handed.
No, it's great, man. It's great. But yeah, man, unfortunately, I do have to go. I have to take care of a couple things before that show. Thank you, Brian, for having me on. Thank you for writing these wonderful books.
Thoughts.
And for not riding me too hard, because I couldn't continue reading your second book. I can't read on my phone, man. It's so hard.
So what are you working on? Where can people find you? What are you doing?
You can find me at The Ultimate Kahuna. I am releasing funny content almost daily at this point. I discuss books,
cultures, and more. And I am a host at the Iron Seas Podcast.
Woo! No sea wife yet, but I'm working on it. I may steal myself a Filipina someday. Anyway, but yeah, nope. Me along with AC and Justin here. We along with Bat Sauce all host over at Iron Seas every Tuesday, and yeah, we're gonna be watching Independence Day for in honor of the 4th for our next show. So, yep.
Good
Rocky
choice.
4 didn't stand a chance, you cheaters. Anyway,
You guys do the Patriot?
I switched mine to Independence Day thinking that Patriot was for sure going to get chosen, right? So why waste my vote on it?
You guys did the Mad Max stuff, so
yeah.
Shame on
me. And Lethal Weapon.
Like there's a tradition of people watching Independence Day on July 4th.
Yeah.
That I wasn't fully aware of until we started the poll. I'm like, oh no, I've gravely miscalculated.
It might have almost just been more fair to just only put Independence Day and the Patriot up against each other to see what happened.
Yeah,
maybe. I don't know. Rocky 4 feels pretty patriotic, but
And Invasion USA, classic.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah, Invasion USA, the movie that started the Cold War, and then Rocky 4, the movie that ended the
Red
Cold
Dawn.
War. Yeah,
Red Dawn.
Got some Red Dawn in there. You know.
Maybe just have like an anti-communist stream. We have like Red Dawn, Rocky 4, and just have these anti-communist movies.
Yeah. It's not Independence Day anymore. It's anti.
Oh wait, Justin, did you finish Invasion USA?
I am about an hour into it.
Okay, small spoiler. You know, in the beginning, there's that scene where they those guys blow up a guy's house, like with the fake garbage men. That scene is never brought up, relevant, or addressed ever again.
Great writing.
I gotta rewind it. I remember when they blew up his house, and they was like way too many rockets. Like the job would have been done, and they just kept firing and firing. But
they're like, you see that $3 shack in the Everglades?
Yes.
Yeah, let's spend like $30,000 a pop for all these rockets to take it out.
That sounds
in any case, Tuesdays, 9:30 Eastern, we're going to be talking about Independence Day 4 and other.
Or 6:30 in the Lord's time. Or
you guys got a link or anything?
I don't think we have one offhand because I don't know whose channel it's going to be on, but an actual like official channel will be coming in the future, and we even have a phrase now. It's what is it? Storytelling, writing, and fighting.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun.
That's what we're going with until further notice.
Yeah, we're getting some stuff together for a strong launch for the official channel, but it's gonna be good.
Yeah, we got a song and stuff. We're doing a nice sing-along video.
It's great.
In the style of SpongeBob, right?
Yeah, it's got the little bouncing ball with the words, like karaoke. It's gonna be cool.
Yeah, man, it's gonna be dope. But hey,
I must have watched it for like an hour.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Kahuna. See ya.
Real quick.
See you, buddy.
Yeah, we'll start wrapping up. Yeah, we can wind this down. It's almost been 2 hours in. So, Justin, where can people find you? What are you working on? Closing comments from you.
So as I mentioned at the beginning, I forgot some stuff, but I do make music. If you're interested in listening to my music, I did 3 albums that were chip tuned, like Nintendo kind of noises over rock/metal. And then my newest release is like, I'll just call it metal. It's got some clean vocals. It's got some screaming and stuff. And all of my music is available on any streaming platform. If you just type in my weird name down there, make sure you spell it right. I will pop up. You can check that out. If you're interested, or if you know somebody else that might be, send them to listen to it there. I'd appreciate it. Friday nights, I am a co-host on Iron Age Nights. I've been over there for, I think, 3 weeks now, which is really surreal and cool. So that's we highlight indie authors and indie creators every Friday night, from people that are just getting on their first project to people that have been in the industry, big names, all and everybody in between. So that's Friday nights. Do that with Royce and Daniel P. Riley, of course. And then Tuesday nights, as Kahuna said, I got the Iron Seas going on. I have too many things going on. I'm too busy, man. I'm way too busy. I got a bunch of songs I'm working on, including one for Mr. McCop and another one here. So anyways, I'm all over. I'm in too many places. I gotta tone it down a little bit.
Take your time, relax. There's no white space.
Right.
And Mr. Pritchard, how about you? Where can we find you? I see you got your comic up and listed.
Yeah. Much like Justin here, I am too little butter stretched across too much bread, to quote Tolkien. But the most important thing right now is my Fund My Comic campaign. It's a nice father-son story, containing real world history. So if you're a fan of this type of stuff that we were talking about on this stream, where it brushes up against familiar things about reality, like in the sense of like constructive things, I should say. Like you said, all those places really exist. He went to Japan for that stuff. As far as the places with my story, it's more like, I looked into how the hierarchy of a Nordic vessel works. Like the owner of the ship is different from like the Jarl, you know what I mean? And like the factions, it's not just like this ship doesn't just like belong to everybody or whatever. It's, there's an actual owner of the ship who's kind of gets to tell the other big shots what to do. So because it's his ship, so stuff like that. There's little nuances. And it's a short story, defined beginning, defined end. I adapted it from my prose material, so it's refined. It's gone through a few steps, onto the page, then into script. It bounced off of Luke, even bounced off of Richard from Iron Age or Anvil magazine. So I mean, it's been through kind of a little bit of refinement at this point, and the campaign is ready to go. I got 15 pages done, and the campaign's been live for 2 weeks. If this fulfills, it'll be a big deal for me. Not only branching into another medium, being a more visual format, but like just simply having another book available. It'll do wonders for like my family and stuff. Like some of this stuff might actually be able to translate more into like future comics, or like a guest book cover from like a big name. There's a few names I've just been eyeballing this whole time I've been on Twitter, and I'm just like, someday I will throw money at you, and we'll get something done, man. Like, small businesses grow slowly though. So go check out my campaign. The link is right here, fundmycomic.com/ASOS. Very easy to remember. Tell your friends if you can't. I understand, not everybody can monetarily help, but like if you know somebody who's just into art, Luke Stone is a fantastic artist. He's my artist on this. Beautiful, vibrant, colorful work. Anybody who just likes superhero comics, it's a comic. And you know what? My protagonist kind of has Batman vibes, if I'm frank. That brooding, dark, like I'm looking over the side of the ship and thinking, because I'm Batman kind of thing. And I didn't realize it until after the fact. But yeah, check that out, guys. And thanks for having me. Thanks for having me also, Brian. I appreciate it.
Cool. And then for last words, I'll drop my website in the chat so everybody was curious. Looks like we finished 37 day one sales so far. So we've grabbed a couple out here, so I'm excited. Keep an eye out for book 3, hopefully in the near future, but grab book 2 released today. And I want to close out. I'm going to share a quick little, a closer clip. You might recognize some of this music, Justin.
Oh, nice.
So again, everybody, thank you for coming in. This is a lot of fun.
Thank you.
Buy book 2, tell your friends. Book 1 is free. Please go download it. It'll be free for the next 7 days or 6 days. So plan to go to all your friends at work, and you have a free book to read for the holiday weekend. So with that, I'll leave you with some Everly music and my closing video.